Hello, everyone, and welcome to What Fresh Hell Laughing in the Face of Motherhood. This is Margaret.
And this is Amy. And this week we are coming to you with many things that we regret to inform you completely and exactly work like they're supposed to. So
Yeah,
annoying.
We hate to say it,
We
but you're
hate
going to
to
be
say
doing
it.
some meal planning.
But
people.
these things
Hate
work.
to
That's
say it.
right. That's right. I'll start with mine. I'm gonna start hot. I hate how well charging my phone in the kitchen and not bringing it into the bedroom at night works. It works exactly as advertised.
I was just thinking how much I need to do this and how much I don't want to.
Yes. I
I
don't
have
want to.
become the bedtime scroller. Like, I'm exactly what you're not supposed to be. I'm getting into bed at some point, I'm going to start getting into bed at 5:15. So I can have 7 hours to scroll my phone. I'm getting into
Oh,
bed at
5:15 PM.
9:30.
I
Oh,
thought you
yeah.
meant staying up all night. You mean
Oh,
going
no,
to
no,
bed
no, no,
super.
no. I'm like getting in bed at 9:30 because I'm so sick of my family's faces.
Mhm.
And it's getting crispity, crunchy, cold, and fally in New York. And I have an amazing comforter. And I just get in my bed cloud and I sink in and then I start scrolling Reddit. And 7 hours later, I'm still not asleep.
You know, I have even taken the apps off my phone. This also, I regret to inform you, works very well. If you're spending too much time on an app, just take it off your phone for a while. Just delete it. You can't use it. But then if I have my phone in my bedroom, I'm under the covers and like I'll look at the stupidest thing. You know what I mean? Like I'll go to the app that I hate and never has anything I like just to avoid turning the light out. I definitely sleep less.
I am deeply invested in like Reddit mother-in-law drama that has nothing to do with me. Like I'm so deep in. I will say that this is inversely related to how calm I feel in general. That like the more I feel I'm having a very, very stressful month, and the more stress I feel, the more I find the comfort of the inside the cloud nonsense scrolling. I'm not even doom scrolling. I'm not trying to like control the world by like, I have to monitor what's going on. It's like my only happy place is sitting extremely still and playing Candy Crush until my elbows hurt. Like
Mm.
that is a stress response for me that I know I have. I'd be a million times better off sitting still in the cloud. I'm not giving up the cloud with the woman who saw from the window that her husband was a killer kind of a book. Like it's just the phone is so even just reading would be so much better for me.
Well, let's go back to what works really well, annoyingly, which is to just have that phone out of reach. Like sometimes when I need to really buckle down and do something, I will take my phone and I will throw it, just like onto a couch. I'm not going to break it, but I throw it like across the room enough that I would have to get up and go get it to use it. And it works so well. I get like 10 times more done. I regret to inform you.
Yeah, my husband and I were recently saying we have I'm big into comfy. That's going to be spoiler alert. We have two easy boys that sit in
Lazy
the living
boys, you mean?
room. What did I call them? Easy boys?
Easy
Lazy
boys.
boys. We have two easy boys. I don't know what that would mean. Lazy boys. And they sit in front of the TV and generally like it's just like we're two old like cattle going back to the barn. Once we finish the kids' homework and clean up the kitchen, we just head for our two lazy boys and then we have a TV that flips down. The TV flips down and then it's like, what are we watching? Then we make a decision. And right now, we're not watching a show. We don't have anything going on. But like cattle returning to the barn, there we are in our lazy boys. And there's no option of not watching something. I said the other day, we should maybe get out a puzzle or have a conversation or listen to a podcast together or do something different. But our default is so strongly lazy boys TV.
The lazy boys work very, very well. Too well, you're saying.
Yeah, they're calling to us.
But that's not what you yeah, but I feel like we're straying a little bit from what we went to our listeners with, which is like what's something that you wish didn't work as well as it did. I guess you're saying the comfortability of your lazy boys, you wish they were less comfortable, but they're just too comfortable.
I'm just saying the default of the phone and the default of the TV is something that we have to work hard
Yes.
against.
Yes.
The default of the giant bag of Skittles while I'm in the lazy boy. Like I have to break out of my defaults.
Well, I regret to inform you that there are many things
No,
that would
please don't tell
really
me.
work really well. So we went to our listeners on our Facebook group and our Facebook page. You can find both just by searching What Fresh Hell Podcast. And we asked our listeners, what is that thing that annoys you? How very well it works if you only just do it. And we got lots of hilarious answers. Leanne has a great one. Leanne says, stretching and doing my PT. It only takes maybe 15 minutes, but I'd rather just sit and drink my coffee in pain.
Oh, Leanne, you are
PT.
singing the song of my
It's the
people.
perfect example. Like PT exercises, they stink. They are so boring. You're thinking like, I'm not doing anything. I'm lifting my ankle 1 inch off the carpet and putting it back down. This could have no effect. No, it would work very, very well. The problem is you don't do it.
Yes, and conversely, I was going to PT where I had to get up at, 6:45, get in my cold car, drive 15 minutes, go in, do all the exercises. And of course, what did I think? I don't need to do this. I'll just do it by myself at home. I know the exercise. Spoiler alert, I have never done the exercises at home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Going somewhere. That's another thing that really works way better. Going somewhere, signing up for a class and going and doing the exercise class instead of saying, I'll just like do the app on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that just this week, my husband and I went on a bike ride over the weekend. I said, well, we should go Wednesday mornings too. That would be really great if we got up and went on a bike ride. And we got up and he was kind of sniffling. He's like, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, we don't have to go. We don't have to go. He's like, no, 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 we'll go, I guess. We go on the most gorgeous fall, crunchy leaves, beautiful sunlight bike ride. It was transformative. It made my whole day better. It was so wonderful. I saw 2 friends. I smiled at them, and I'm back in the house by 9:30 feeling like I can do anything. And I thought I would even tomorrow, I won't do it again. Like, it's so hard. I find that inertia, like objects at rest stay at rest. It's very hard to overcome, even though I very much know the bike ride is better than the
Even though
Candy Crush.
even though it works, even though it's
Oh,
amazing.
horrible.
Ivy says getting out of bed and going for a walk first thing is annoyingly effective. I go with a
Yes.
friend, so I get the benefit of the early light and social connection, and my idiotic little dog is better behaved all day long. It's the worst, getting up
Ivy,
and exercising first thing.
condolences. I'm so sorry you've learned this terrible truth
Right,
that
right.
getting up and putting your face in the sunlight is better than
Is
sitting inside like a troll reading Reddit.
yeah, the thing I hate about the early morning, it is the effective. For me, it's like the best time of day.
Mm.
That burst of the early morning, and it is both the best time to exercise and the best time to write and the best time to attack that thing you've been putting off for 45 days. That first burst of the morning, it's so good. I don't want to waste it on walking, on like being outside with a friend. I want to send 10 emails. But that's
Mhm.
uh maybe the best use of time is being happy. That's annoying but true.
Very, very annoying. And getting your face in the sun,
Mhm.
especially like as we're dealing with seasonal change, that encroaching darkness is mentally very hard. Even if you don't have seasonal affective disorder, the lack of sunlight is very, very hard. And then it's kind of secular, like it gets harder to get outside. Everything about it is harder. But as our Danish babies know, getting outside even when it's cold, it's
Oh,
so good for you.
that is another one that's annoyingly effective. Right, just bundling up, just putting on, like, 2 coats if you have to, and marching around outside in a bad
Yeah.
mood. You will get back home and be in less of a bad mood. You will get back home and be in less of a bad mood, I regret to inform you.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, but there's happiness outside. I
There's
really
happiness outside.
apologize.
How annoying is that?
Maggie says, and she's 100% right, working out. It's so tedious. It requires time and energy, which I don't have. Special clothes and shoes, which are an extra thing I don't want to procure. And shower time. Again, don't have time. But even the sloggiest workout or walk makes me feel better.
I hate that this is true. Because I exercising is the first thing to go when I get busy. Like
Yes.
whatever, I'll work out some other time. Peloton can wait. But then the idea that you sleep better and feel better if you exercise, that is so unavoidably true. I hate it.
Are
I,
we allowed to go into any solutions at all, Amy? I have a very quick one, which is I
okay, give me a
find that
solution.
exercise falls away for me. I'm a partner person. I have a friend at the gym. She expects me there on Mondays at that class. My husband and I are now gonna bike ride on Wednesdays. We hold each other accountable. Like, if it weren't for that, I would never go. I would never go by myself. I have absolutely understood about myself. I need a buddy.
Well, like, so for me, it was like the exercise can fall away because you can't do it all, and
Yes.
let go of the feel bad message that you need to be, doing 30 minutes of whatever every day to be a good person, whatever. Like, I don't care about that stuff. That stuff can wait. It doesn't matter. I don't need it. I can throw it overboard for 3 months and then pick it up when this, particular part of my life is done. But you do the part that you feel better. Like, I'm not doing it the idea that, like, you're not doing it to fit into a size smaller pants in the back of your closet, but because you'll sleep better and be happier all day, I hate that that part is true.
Correct. It really stinks that it's true,
But I
but
regret to inform
unfortunately,
you, it actually works.
it is.
Dorsey says, this is the one I hate right now. I am bored, senseless, lifting weights. Still, somehow I see myself getting stronger and I have fewer injuries. This is the exact, like, I've started doing like weightlifting, not real, like
Yes.
not like,
You're not
competitive.
Arnold's, but yes.
Yeah, like I'm not
We're not
grunting
gonna
and
see you oiled
dropping
up in a
things.
bikini anytime
No,
soon with a spray tan.
no, I'm talking like 10-pound weights. Then maybe I go to 15-pound weights. And I do find it the most boring thing in the world. And it is remarkable how quickly you can move from 5-pound weights to 10-pound weights to 15-pound weights. It takes like 2 classes. I
Yeah,
hate it.
I hate that you're even telling me this because it
Right.
sounds
Right.
terrible.
I hate that that means I won't break my bones. So I have to do it. And
Yeah,
it
I will
actually
tell
works.
you
I
that
hate
I
that.
hate to tell you that yoga is very relaxing and helps you get stronger.
Yeah. I mean, I am, but yoga actually, like, I buy into yoga. I was at yoga class this morning thinking about this episode. I'm like, but I do like being here. Like, I'm like, yeah, I get to go to yoga.
I
Not
don't.
everybody.
I've never, ever, ever, nor will I ever in this lifetime, the phrase "Yay, I get to yoga" "Yay, I get to go to yoga" will never, ever come into my brain.
I think I've connected finally the I know walking there. First of all, there's a new place that opened 2 blocks away from me, so that's hallelujah. And there's people there and it's a good teacher. But I know on the walk there then I'm gonna feel great when I leave. Like, I know that. I'm not like, "Oh, people say I'll feel better," but yeah, I don't I've moved past that. But I understand that many people do not.
I have such a loud inner troll that's like, "You don't wanna do it, don't do it, don't do it, this is gonna be terrible." Like, I'm laying on the mat, like, "This is gonna stink." And then once it starts, I'm fine. And then about halfway through, I'm like, "When is it gonna be over?" And then when I'm done and laying down for the nap part, I'm like,
Yeah,
"This is awesome."
yeah. Delaney points out yet another issue with this, that if you wake up before everybody else in the house to do your yoga or your thing or you walk outside, if you wake up even earlier in order to do that, you will therefore exercise.
Oh, I regret
It
to inform you
works.
that Delaney is now blocked from the podcast page and no longer welcome to contribute any information.
How dare she? Somebody else said get up at 4:30. I'm like, I'm not even gonna say that on the podcast, and now
Oh,
I just
I
have.
saw that one. I was like,
4:30?
"Whoa,
But
that
she's right. She's
is."
like, "That's how I make sure I do it." I'm like, "Don't tell me that that's true. I reject that notion that I can ever get up at 4:30 and work out." But, she's living proof that you can do it.
I think I've gotten to 4:30 like 5 times in my entire life.
For
Ooh,
flights.
for
I will do it for
flights,
flights
and
only.
then I grumbled the whole time, and I was like, "My eyeballs are bleeding, my eyeballs are bleeding."
I do it for flights, and then the whole day I'm like, "It's amazing I'm here right now," right? Like, it's amazing I'm walking through this
How
airport
am
right
I
now having
up?
gotten up at
You would have to
4:30.
go to bed at 8:30 at night to get 8 hours of
Well,
sleep.
you're gonna go to bed at 5:15, so it should
Yeah,
work really well
but
for
I'm
you.
gonna be awake until 2 AM checking out Mother-in-Law
7
Reddit,
hours
so it's not really gonna help
up till 2,
anything.
sleep until 9. No, you're right, you won't be able to do that. That won't
I mean,
work.
my poor husband, I'm always like, "I'm really tired. Do you mind if I go to bed? Make sure the kids get down." And then he comes in 4 hours later and I'm still awake and I'm just reading my phone. He's like, "You, in fact, are a monster."
You are a monster.
Rachel is coming in and singing the song of my people. She hates to tell you, but emptying the dishwasher in the morning works. If it's empty, no one has an excuse not to put their dirty dishes in all day. After dinner, cleanup is way easier and the kitchen stays fairly reasonable for the next morning. I hate that it's a reasonable chore that takes less than 5 minutes.
She's so right, and I hate that this is true. My dad used to empty the dishwasher every morning, like, the coffee wasn't even made yet, and he was emptying the dishwasher, so he was got that done. It was a chore that made him feel good all day, and now I know why. Because then the dirty dishes can't go in the sink. There's no soaking option available. Not that people aren't going to take advantage of it anyway.
Yeah, it just is that thing of getting it done. The greatest philosopher of our time, Madonna Louise Ciccone,
Yes.
always said, she's like, "I get up first thing in the morning." I mean, she's a very driven person, 6:30 AM, and I exercise for 2 hours because then it's done, and I've already set my day up for success. And it's like, I get it. I mean, it's not that I don't understand the point you're making, but I
Yeah.
just wish you would never say that out loud again because I don't wanna have to do that.
A lot of people talked about closing duties, which is sort of a restaurant term, right? That I've heard you
Yes.
use before, that you need to close up your kitchen at night, that is remarkably effective if you just take those 10 minutes to wipe down the counter and do the pots then rather than save them for the morning. It really makes your morning so much better. It really works, and it takes 10 minutes. But
Yes, and
Rachel said
closing
it takes
duties,
5 minutes to unload the dishwasher, and closing duties, I feel like they take 45 minutes, but maybe they don't.
closing duties is a Casey Davis struggle care podcast
Uh-huh,
thing.
uh-huh.
Yeah, closing duties. And yeah, because the opposite side of it is the cascade of then you walk in the morning and there's dishes and then you start to make breakfast and it's gross and then you just keep piling dishes on because you don't want to face the dirty ones. Clean as you go. I hate to say, Amy, I regret to inform you that cleaning as you go is better than waiting till the end.
Charmaine says this, and we were talking about this on the episode Does Messy Matter from a couple weeks back. Charmaine says, this is annoying, but it works. If you clean the playroom, they will play. There is an established phenomenon where children will play in a room that's been cleaned and organized, but will act as though they have nothing to do if the same room is messy. Charmaine, I agree with you. And I saw this and I thought, right, let me get some receipts on this. I went looking. I could not find a study indicating that children will play longer and more peacefully in a neat environment than a messy environment.
Hmm.
Maybe we should try it. We should
Let's
run our own
let's
research
open a lab.
because I believe it to be true. And I have lived this way like, oh, it's annoying, but getting the playroom completely back to once a month is worth it. But I don't have proof. I believe it works.
You just know it to
What do
be
you think?
true. I was thinking about this after our messy episode because right after that, I cleaned my whole house. I mean, spot like all the way clean.
You're the bing, 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 bing.
We had people coming, so I needed to really get it back to one clean. And it was interesting. I was thinking like, do I feel calmer? How is that manifesting? And I definitely do. I feel calmer in a clean environment, but I mean, I think some of what's annoying about these things is that they work. I mean, that's the theme, right?
Right.
But also it just that it's annoying that they work, but we don't have to like fall into a giant shame cycle that we're not getting up at 4:30 in the morning and emptying the dishwasher. Like
Right.
we have to kind of find the happy balance of, okay, if I go for a 7 AM bike ride 1 day a week, that's a huge accomplishment for me. I mean, for me, I know there's people out there, I'm sure, doing it every single day, but for me, 1 day a week is a big, big, big win. So then I don't have to feel bad. I'm not doing it the other 6 days.
Yes. I think sometimes there is this resistance that develops, I'll speak for myself, around even the simplest things. Like right now, I'm dealing with allergies. I keep wiping my eyes because my eyes are watering. I think it's like mega autumn leaves season right now or something. So my eyes are like really puffy and watery. I know what works. Taking Zyrtec. That will work. All I have to do is go into the kitchen and find the Zyrtec and take one. And I won't do it. I would rather have like itchy, watery eyes than go into the kitchen and take this medicine that is remarkably effective for combating my allergies. I can't explain it. And I do think we have this tendency to like stubbornly resist drinking water. Drinking more water absolutely works. You feel better, your skin looks a little better, right? You poop better, like everything works better when you drink more water. And we're not saying get up at 4:30 and do a half marathon. All you have to
Right.
do is drink more water, and I won't do it. I sit here
Yeah,
thirsty.
I do think there's a parallel to high stress levels because I said it jokingly to my husband maybe 2 weeks ago when I was at like 10 out of 10 in terms of my own stress levels. And he's like, "What did you do all day?" And I'm like, "I sat very, very still under a blanket playing Candy Crush to keep the world on its axis." And
Mhm.
it's like I feel like sometimes I think it is correlated. I am not a doctor. I am not a psychologist. I have no training in this field. There does seem to be a correlation to me personally between the set point of my own mental health and like how things are going. Like if I'm feeling happy and joyful and less stressed, I am 90% more likely to drink a lot of water and get on a bike and
Yeah.
moisturize my face at bedtime and blah, blah, blah. And then when I'm struggling, it's like, right, the idea of like taking a vitamin is like, what kind of poster would suggest I take a vitamin right
Right,
now?
vitamin,
In
right.
what world could I pick up a vitamin, get it into my mouth, and slug it down with some water? Impossible.
I regret to inform you that actually taking, all the vitamins and supplements that, I buy and then keep on a shelf in the kitchen actually work when I take them. They
Mm.
work great. They don't work when I just buy them and stick them on a shelf. It turns out I actually have to
Oh.
put them into, like, a pill counter and take them.
Yeah,
I
I'm
hate
going
that.
with
I
the
hate
hoping
doing
they
that.
help me from the cabinet right
Right,
now. It's
right.
not going amazing,
No.
but still waiting on long-term results. I mean, there's not been enough studies.
No. What if I what if I just buy the CoQ10 and, a
Yeah,
mega one and then just don't ever take it? Just leave it
Costco
in
size.
yeah, Costco
Sure.
size 38.99 and then just don't take it. How does that work? It doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
I regret to inform you.
Yeah. I was just thinking that I have a lot of trouble taking medication. I'm chaos muppet, very disorganized. And I remember talking about birth control with a doctor, and I was like, I can't remember to take a pill every day. Like, that is not an effective form of birth control for me because I'm too disorganized to remember to take a pill every day. And he was extremely non-sympathetic to this point of view and said, "Well, just put it next to your toothbrush and just take it when you brush your teeth." I'm like, "I sometimes forget to brush my teeth, and also I would forget to take it while I was brushing."
Mhm.
Like, that is not how I live, you know? And he was so dismissive of the idea that a person would not remember to take a pill every day that he just had no response to it at all. And it's true that I'm now taking a medication that I kind of really have to be careful of and take it at the same time every day. And I'm struggling with it. And I'm
Mm.
trying to come up with a bunch of workarounds and fixes. But then I keep it by my bed and I get into bed and I'm tired and I don't have a glass of water. And then I'm like, oh, I'll take it in the morning. And then I didn't take it's it's hard. It's hard for some people to do these things.
I have some methods you could try because
Sure.
I have lots of medicine takers
Regret
in
to
my family.
inform me that there's a way to
I regret
fix
to
this.
inform you that there's an app, there's little labels, there's a special top you can put on your bottle that shows you if you took it or not. Like there's all kinds of things, but then you have to use them.
Well,
You have to
yeah.
use them. That's what's
I
really annoying if you
I'm
use
not
that
sure we're ever
app.
really solving the central problem because I have a reminder on my phone that's like, "Take medicine," but then what happens it's like the sign on the door that says, "Do you have your cell phone?" It works for the first 3 days, and then you just it's
Then you
part
don't,
of the
right? There's
furniture. I mean, I'm
blindness.
sure there's like a psychological term for that, but
Yeah.
it's hard to fix me. Very hard.
Bobbis, I loved this one. She said, telling her spouse what she actually needs instead of just expecting him to know is really annoyingly effective.
Yeah, I co-sign in this one, and I think it is something that in I don't know how long I'm married, almost 17 years, I think. It is annoyingly
Mhm. It's
effective,
yeah.
and I mean, I think I got a lot of thrills and chills for many years setting my romantic partner up to fail and then having plates throwing screaming fights about it. Like, there is a part of me that gets lit up by him doing it wrong and me getting to be righteous, and I have gotten more and more tired of it and found that, oh, if I just tell him, he'll do it. Like,
It's right. My birthday's coming and I want to go out to dinner and I want to have flowers and I want to have the kids make cards and you give them like 2 weeks notice on that. That
yeah.
that might work better than being upset on your birthday that your spouse let you down. Should they be able to just intuit the perfect birthday for you? Maybe, but would you rather be mad or would you rather get the birthday you want?
Yeah. And I understand both answers. I really do. Because I think there is a righteousness in wanting not to have to ask. I
Right.
mean, I do think that that's a classic. That's the Jennifer Aniston joke from some movie. I want you to want to do the
Right,
dishes.
right,
Like,
right.
I think that most people, as they mature, kind of get rid of that need to be like, I want you to spontaneously show up with flowers. I don't want to be like, I want you to buy me flowers once a month. Like, I get both sides of it, but I do think at a certain point you just want what you want, and it's easier to not have conflict around it.
It just can be surprisingly effective to say, "Here's what I need." Sometimes you get it. You don't always, and then you can be mad that you asked and you still didn't get it. Believe me, I know what that can happen, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you just ask and then you receive and it works and it's so annoying.
Yeah, and I think when you boil it down to I think I finally got to a point of like, "Oh, my husband is a nice person who wants me to feel
Yeah,
good."
yeah.
So I'm gonna stop putting roadblocks in front of that, and I may even draw some chalk paths to that
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah. That's
him
so well said. That's what I mean. Yeah.
because I'm actually tired of making this nice person feel like crap because they didn't do the mystery thing in my mind.
Mystery.
I still fall into it sometimes.
Right.
Mara says avoiding social media. And she says, I say this as I respond to a Facebook post, which is what this was. And I do think, and I mean, as always, some of these are just back to ones, and I'm in the middle of a big one right now. I have, as noted, been in a very stressful season. And I know that my stressful responses tend to be dirty house, takeout food, spending and wasting money. And all of those things stress me out more. This house stresses me out. We're spending too much money. And it becomes a stress cycle that I have come to accept at my age that will never disappear from my life. But one of the big back to ones that I'm really staring down right now, and I'm glad we're doing this episode today, is changing the role of the phone in my life. That like
Mhm.
I am literally the person right now, like walking to the phone, scrolling TikTok, and then using the bathroom with it still in my hand. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
Yep.
clinging to it.
Mhm.
And I think a therapist might say, like, what's underneath that? What are you hiding from, or what is the nervousness that you are trying to control by clinging to the life raft of the
Right. Or
phone?
what feeling are you trying to keep at bay or what are you trying to not think about or not feel by
Yeah.
opening your phone? Yeah, I was on the steps down from my yoga class this morning. It's on the second floor. I'm on the steps down to the street. I'm looking at my phone. I did catch myself. First of all, don't look at your phone while you're walking down steps. My friend really hurt herself doing that. Don't
Oh
do
my.
that. Don't do it because
That
you'll hurt
doesn't work.
yourself. But also,
We love to tell you that doesn't work.
right? But I'm also, like, bathed in, shavasana peace, and I have to open my phone, like, "No, I don't. I'm not a heart surgeon. I don't need to find out, where the kidney on ice is landing so I can get myself there on time for the transplant." There's nothing that I need to see in the first 10 seconds I leave yoga class, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the phones and many of our guests and ourselves would point out, this is not, comma, Amy, you idiot. Like it's a phone that is designed to do exactly that. It's designed to keep you looking at it.
That's right.
All the apps on it are engineered by 100 people whose only job is how can we get Amy reaching for her
Yeah.
phone every 5 seconds. It's not like, Amy, you dumb dumb, why do you have to be so stupid? It's you are the end result of a lot of programming that has made you convinced that your phone must be near you at all
That's
times.
right. But I regret to inform you that things actually work, like turning it off, bricking it or throwing it across the room before you have to send those 5 emails, or even grayscaling. Somebody said it in the comments on our Facebook page. I haven't ever done it, but you actually just turn your phone to black and white,
Mm.
that it is immediately just you just want to look at it less because it's not as interesting. Apparently, she says that is incredibly annoyingly effective.
Ugh, I might actually try that. I'm
Let's try
really,
that, you
really in
guys.
a bad place with the phone right now. I don't even want to. It used to pop up. I must have turned it off. It's like you've been on your phone for 27 hours this week or whatever. Um, and yeah, I definitely think that is something that I would like to do less of grayscaling. That might be
Yeah.
it. Amy, we'll be back with even more things that are really annoying because they work. All right. We knew it was going to be on the list, Amy. We knew,
Uh-huh.
and Cindy has come in.
Uh-huh.
Making a dinners list and meal plan for the week before I make the grocery list. I don't enjoy it, but it's a lifesaver for busy weeks.
I have stopped doing this, and it's so good when you do it. It's really, really helpful.
Well, I was laughing this morning thinking about this episode because I was going to say, I've got it. I've figured out a new solution. And I realize I've said this like 4 times on the
You
podcast. So
have. You have said this before.
at some point,
I've been
my
here.
revelation was that I bought all my proteins frozen at Costco.
Yes.
And then I always had a protein and I could pull it out of the freezer and make whatever.
And then you also had an assortment of like herbs and marinades on the door of your refrigerator ready to go. So I thought it was like one
Correct.
column A, column B. Tonight we're having
mixy
teriyaki
matchy,
chicken.
here we go. That's
Mhm.
right. That system has fallen by the wayside.
It's a good
definitely what
system.
I'm
Sounds like it would really
realizing.
work. Did it work?
I mean, it worked for like 3 months.
It worked while
and
you were doing it.
then- And then the summer would come and we wouldn't eat at home for a while. And I'd be like, wait a minute, are these chicken breasts like from 1952?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. All systems fall apart at my house. They just
Mhm.
never work for a long time. Now, here's my new system, which is working amazingly. And I was like, oh, I should share this with everyone because it worked so well. Again, this will fall apart. My kids have a school pickup. We don't have busing in our town. So I go over to pick them up. And they can walk to my husband's office, which is in town, and then I pick them up from there. So it's not like, okay, I have to be there at 3:05. They're there like doing their homework or doing whatever. So I leave early. Think about what's for dinner about 2:00, and then I stop by the little store. It's a little easy to get in and out of grocery store, and I buy the 3 things I don't have for dinner, and then I pick them up. And that's what I've been doing. And it's working great. And I'm like, oh, this is such an easy way to do it. But that will also fall apart. I don't know why, but it will.
Yeah, because we are our own worst enemies. That's why.
Yes.
Because this is a system. It's working well. I hate it. Jenna has a system that sounds really annoyingly successful. It's another version, but I'm going to walk you through it. This is Jenna. She says, on Sunday night, I figure out the meals for the week. I add the items we need to my app shopping cart. This is what I do. I order food online mostly. And I schedule a curbside pickup on the way to get my older toddler after preschool on Monday. Then I have everything I need for the weeknight meals, and I can decide what we feel like eating that day based on the 5 dinners I picked. Plus, I never have to go into the store with my 2-year-old. Then, listen to this. Jenna says, I usually make enough during the week so that on weekends we just eat leftovers with no work. This sounds so
Okay,
successful.
Jenna.
But she does
Look at you.
the pickup is ready. I mean, she's doing what you do, like attach it to the time you're leaving the house anyway. You're on your
That
way to
is
get the kids,
smart.
stop at the market. She's on her way home from preschool. The stuff is at the curb waiting for her. And you do have to spend like an hour on Sunday night doing this, and I don't want to.
No.
But then you
it
save like
sounds
17
terrible.
hours all week long not thinking about what you have to get and going to the store.
I'm like a toddler. My whole inner being, you should feel the stress and cortisol that is like coursing through my body right now. Because I'm like, I don't want to do any of these things, even though they're better.
And I'm like, well, I just shop online, which I do. I mean, New York City makes that pretty easy. I can get grocery
I was going to
deliveries
say,
a
is this
lot.
everywhere that you can do curbside pickup?
Curbside pickup, right? I don't even have to do that. Like they like drop it off in my apartment building. I think so. I think post-pandemic, you can get curbside pickup of, your watercolors at Michael's if you want to. You can just.
Yeah, because I wanted to commit to the app grocery thing
Mhm.
because I thought, oh, that seems easier than going to the grocery store.
Mhm.
But it's much more expensive than going to the grocery store.
Mm.
I gave up on it. I was like, oh, it's significantly more expensive. But I don't know if the curbside pickup is much more expensive.
It's not really more expensive in New York City because, of course, like real estate is so expentive that actually going to the corner store to get the broccoli, it's going to be more if you do that.
Right,
Not that I
right,
don't ever
right.
do that. But all I have to do is order food online, and I still don't do like right now. We're out of toilet paper, we're out of milk, we're out of and because I have forgotten to order them on the food app. Now, there are 3 stores where I could go get them within a 5-minute walk, and that would be a really effective solution to my problem to spend 15 minutes going to the store to get them. But I will now order these things on the app, and if I have to wait 2 days, then oh well, no milk.
We will be without milk.
That's right.
Calcium be damned.
Right.
It's funny. A long time ago, I wrote a show, like a one-woman comedy show, and it was all about, like, entropy and inertia, and I do think that now call me on it because sometimes I'm like, I am the person who doesn't like to exercise. Like, no, that's everybody, you know? I do think I really struggle with more than some people I know with I'm still like I can't I will let my car go down to like I will run out of gas on the side of the road versus stopping for gas just feels like how could I do
It's
it's
so hard.
absurd. It's absurd. I'm almost home and instead I'm going to stop, get
And
a
the
get
future
a
you
hose.
the future you that will be running late and who will be out of gas, right, when she's
The
already 10 minutes late to
future
be
me who
somewhere
will
is it's
miss,
not her
like, the
that's her
most
problem.
important monthly activity of my year because she's out of gas on the side of the road. Yes. I feel like this particular issue is very stressful for me. Like, I just would rather sit still, go for a bike ride. Are there people who just wanna get up in the morning and go for a bike ride?
I think I think so. Like, I think you can break through. Like, with yoga, I've broken through. Now, I don't always do yoga, but I'm always happy to do it and happy to, like, get up and do it. So I think there are people I think my husband might be one of those people that actually he doesn't pretend to like to exercise, he actually likes to exercise.
Yeah, I've met your husband. That does seem
I
correct.
think it's true.
He's like a jaguar in a small cage at the zoo. Like if he's like he wants to run, you know? Like if you I've seen him and if you linger for more than 10 minutes in conversation, he starts pacing. Like
He
he's like,
starts
I
stretching.
got somewhere to go. I gotta be. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly right.
His fire is turned up very, very high.
Mhm, mhm, so he really enjoys it. Sadiq has a good one I wanted to circle back to, that is annoyingly effective in your marriage relationship, the Google Calendar. She said, "It is so annoying to play secretary to my spouse, but actually it keeps us organized, and now he can't say I didn't tell him, even if he forgets to check."
Okay. I'm going to say this is something I have implemented and it works much better. It's
Yes.
really when we first started working together, Amy, you know, I was all paper calendar.
Yep.
I did everything on paper, and I thought I'm a person who likes paper,
I like
and I
paper too, yeah.
don't care about the phones, and I this and I that. And I was a person who at least once a month would not show up somewhere I was supposed to be because I didn't know I was supposed to be there. And the Google Calendar rules us all. And I mean,
Yes.
by Google Calendar, I just mean the calendar that lives on my phone, whatever form that
Right, right,
takes.
you can use yeah, use the Apple Calendar instead. Yeah, putting events on my spouse's calendar, or he puts them on my calendar. And if you reject it, then if you say no, then it's on you to bring it up at dinner, like, "Oh, I can't do that day because I have this." It's on you to
Right.
explain why that doesn't work. But, yeah, if it appears because you see the invitation, it doesn't just show up 3 weeks from now and you don't know, it tells you it's being added. Yeah, it actually works, and here's what actually works. I insist, and this drives my spouse nuts, but I do it, like, when you talk about what you're going to do, um over the next 3 weeks, you can't do that without your calendar in front of you.
Yes.
My spouse loves to think that there's an extra Tuesday in there somewhere, that there's actually 3 weekends left before Thanksgiving instead of 1 or whatever. He's like, "No,
That
no,
is
no,
the
that's the
male
weekend after."
space-time continuum.
Yeah, the space-time
Yes.
continuum. There's always one more weekend before Martin Luther King Day weekend. Like, no, there's not. Look at the calendar.
I
I like
promise
to
you.
engaging with the actual dates and times is remarkably effective, but, I live with somebody who would really rather pretend there's always another weekend. You know what I mean? Then you end up double booking things. It's like, "Oh, I thought there was that weekend before Thanksgiving." Like, that is the weekend before Thanksgiving.
100%, and I will yes and that and say that this is now what I do, and I put everything in the Google Calendar at work, like, things just show up on my calendar, you know, you have to be here, there, and there, and then on Sunday nights, I do sit down, usually sometime on the weekend, with my paper calendar, and I
Mm.
write out my week on paper, and so then I can say, "Oh, I have Tuesday morning free. I have Thursday afternoon free." And I've gotten better about going to my work calendar and blocking stuff out. So, like, you can find time because I've put my stuff on there. and I kind of marry all the calendars together. And then Sunday night, I can kind of look and say, this is what my week looks like. And if we have a week at the office where I don't have any meetings on a Wednesday, I sometimes will mark myself out of office that day. Okay, I'm going to take that day to really work and get stuff done or whatever
Yep.
it happens to be. That to me, as a kind of whirling dervish, is very helpful to say, like, okay, this is what the week looks like. And in best case scenario, my husband and I do it together. And you and I often have this conversation where
We
we'll sit
do.
down. All right, let's look at the next 4
Let's look at the next
days.
week. Right.
Let's look at the next week, because I think that the Google Calendar, it's like machine learning. It can only get so smart before a human has to say, okay, what does it mean? How does it operate? And that's like, I need my Google machine, and then I need my human brain to come in and say, and then what meal are we going to have? And do you realize that I'm
Right.
out 4 days
Right.
this week?
That's
And
right.
therefore the meal plan has completely fallen apart. And because these are all interconnected, it's a tapestry, and you pull out, okay, I got 2 nights that I'm out teaching this week. Now the meal plan's fallen apart.
Yes, you have to engage. I agree. You do, and then have to pull it. I do the same thing. I actually do it sort of day by day when I wake up in the morning and get coffee. Okay, what am I doing today? And I write it down
Yes.
on paper, even though it's on my phone, because that's when you engage with, oh shoot, I'm not home until 6:30, and my daughter has to have dinner by 6 because she has play practice tonight. And it's
Hmm.
when you engage with those forms of, wait a minute, there is only one more weekend before Thanksgiving things, right? When you put it back on paper.
And our
So,
male
I
spouses,
agree.
in our experience, are not doing this.
No.
I don't think I've ever heard my husband come in and say, you know what I realized? We planned this, but you are teaching 2 days a week. So I'll have to make dinner those nights. Like,
Right.
that is just not going on. That ticker tape is not running inside of his head.
Well, like I always say, if you are listening to this episode, you are probably
Right.
the primary caregiver, the ringmaster in your house, and so, yeah, so you gotta do the Google Calendar and the paper calendar. I don't know. We were supposed to be talking about simple things that work annoyingly well. Now I feel like we're saying you have to do paper calendar and Google
Yeah, you have to
Calendar
do it
and have a
all.
meeting,
Right. Well,
and it
we
totally
regret to
works.
inform you. It's
Right.
more work for you.
Let me give you a simple one to finish with. Allison says picking out clothes the night before. Totally annoying how well that works. See also packing lunches the night before, having your kids lay out their backpacks and their shoes in the hallway by the front door the night before. It is so hard to get them to do it, and it completely works.
Yeah. Now me and future me just do not get
Now me and
along.
future me.
We do not get along. We
Yeah.
are enemies in the wild. Now me
Yeah.
and future me.
Yeah. Future me is here to say, but you will be happier if
You
you drink
will.
more water.
You will.
Now me's like, nope, just gonna
No,
sit here and be
thanks.
thirsty. We got this great idea from Sarah Peterson's Substack. It's called In Pursuit of Clean Countertops. Sarah Peterson has been a guest on our show. I thought this was a great idea. And so we did an episode with our listener suggestions. Thank you to everybody who gave us these suggestions.
And if you
We
want to see all the suggestions, you can go to the thread, which will be linked in the show notes on Facebook at our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/what fresh hellcast.
We have a newsletter of our own. It comes out once a month. It tells you what we are reading, watching, listening to, news about where you can find us next, and, little tidbits we don't talk about on the podcast. You can find that by going to What Fresh Hell Podcast. A little thing will pop up. You can sign up for the newsletter once a month, we promise.
We won't bother you. We're just here to help you.
I
My
regret to
goodness.
inform you it's a really good newsletter.
I regret to inform you, you're going to want to read it. And with that, friends, thanks so much for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
So long.